Hello, everyone. Welcome to, well, you may be hearing this on Resident Evil first during the live, but actually, welcome to a Random Gamers Corner. My name is Alejandro Ortiz, and I hope you all are doing well. I am joined, of course, by my friend and co-host, Professor Zoomer. Introduce yourself, buddy.
What's up?
And how have you been?
I've been good, you know. I actually had a. It's been a good couple weeks. I got a transformer I've been wanting for a couple years now.
Damn, a couple years.
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The problem is, the original asking price for it was $450, and for any Transformers fan who's watching this, you probably know which one it was. So
Shit.
Transformers Masterpiece is a line. The whole idea is they're large figures. They're highly accurate to the portrayal that they're trying to hit, and they usually cost a good chunk of cash. Well, MP44 was the original Optimus Prime, and he came with a trailer and all this other shit that artificially inflated the price. And I got what's called 44S, which is basically that toy, and I'll send you pictures of it after the stream, but
For sure.
it's basically that toy, but in the colors of the original toy from 1984.
Damn.
So that's cool. It's cool I finally have that.
Very
And,
nice.
other than that, hi guys, I'm Professor Zoomer. I do videos sometimes, every year or so I upload a video. Just finished recording the 2003 Hulk game. I want to say that's on like part 4 now, part 3 or 4.
I think 4.
That's all scheduled, and don't exactly know what I want to play next. Actually, I may toss some names to emblems away and let him pick.
For sure. Um, there's not gonna be any transformer tinkering in the background as we speak. Is there?
That happened one time.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I realized like when I was listening to one of the episodes, I was like, this is distracting me. That's gonna distract a listener or two.
I can go grab him. Do you want to tempt me? You want to tempt fate?
I'll mute you.
You wouldn't dare mute your co-host.
You actually be surprised at shenanigans that happens during. Anyways, but okay, please, since I know if a couple listeners could be distracted by that, then yeah, I could probably, it's things you learn along the way of recording. But anyways, glad you're able to join me again, my friend. So yeah, as you may see from the title later on, once this comes out, yeah, we're here to read Grace's report, so that way you don't have to. Well, not really. I mean, you can always read it yourself, but if you want to have us to read it for you and try to dissect it ourselves, I mean, all right, we're happy to do so. Now,
Who is this we? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
now let's get into it. As this is Grace's report, as this is unlocked after being the game, it is the truth behind Raccoon City, which is supposed to be, I guess, a cleanup of the timeline of events. So if you don't want to get spoiled on certain events from past games, I guess come back to this game when you play those games. If not,
Essentially,
then
essentially, if it gets to covering a game that you want to play but haven't yet, go play that game first, and then check out that excerpt.
yeah, you got a lot of games to get through if that's the case for you. But all right,
Couldn't be me.
let's get in. Yeah, same. Let's do this.
Since this is your channel and your podcast, why don't you start with the first actual page?
All right, introduction. All right, your turn. I'm just kidding.
Shut up!
All
I
right.
said actual page.
Okay. In 1998, Raccoon City was devastated by a massive outbreak caused by a viral leak from the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella. The United States government responded by launching a missile strike to wipe out the infected and erected a blockade to seal off the city. In 2004, following a court trial, the Umbrella Corporation declared bankruptcy. A complete account of the events was never released. Oh, okay, so there's sort of speed run through that.
However, I'm sorry.
We better. I
However,
hope someone's laughing.
and if not, I'm laughing enough for them, so it's all good. However, in October 2026, it was discovered that the city had been used as a hub for the production and trafficking of bioweapons. This report reveals that the established narrative of the Raccoon City events were falsified and elucidates newly discovered truth surrounding the incident. That's a fucking word I've never seen before.
Okay, Grace, freaking show off. What the fuck? Who the hell says
Elucidates.
elucidates?
Fucking okay, college graduate. I'm sorry.
All right. 1968. Oh shit. Okay, 1968. This is gonna be probably the origin. To properly understand the truth, we must first go back to the beginning of it all. In 1968, Oswald E. Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford founded the Umbrella Corporation. Having witnessed the horrors of the Second World War and the dread of the Cold War, Spencer felt a sense of despair at watching the world repeat the same mistakes. He felt it was his duty to bring about a change to humanity. Oh, what?
So already reinserting the story point in the game that Spencer started to, change a little bit towards the end of his life.
Yeah, but
So
this is only after the World Wars.
What I'm saying is this is trying to establish that kind of deep-rooted sense of duty was there since the beginning.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's kind of rich, but okay. If anyone...
Oh my god, it's fucking, not, hold on, actually. If you want to talk about something just for a second, I need to look up this dude's name.
Does he look like that one actor?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Not Doc Brown.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, it's Jesse Ventura!
Oh my god.
As stated in court records following the Raccoon City incident, his ultimate goal was to bring about the viral evolution of the human race. Thus, he relentlessly pursued virus research through illegal and inhumane means. This fact remains unchanged.
Man, they're trying really hard. Okay. Sorry, I'll keep... Okay, 1970s. From the very beginning of Umbrella, the company faced rapid change and intense internal strife, most notably the sharp ideological divide between Spencer and Marcus. According to court records, this conflict was cited as the primary factor leading to the unusual developments which followed. In 1978, James Marcus developed the T virus, which would go on to become the cause of the subsequent outbreak.
I was kind of expecting them to kind of bring us a little bit more of padding in between the start of Umbrella and the start of the T-Virus.
Yeah.
1980s. Oh, okay, I get one single sentence. Understood. This is a crucial period of understanding the basis of what caused the incident and the truth behind the entire case.
Spencer's influence and ARC's establishment. Oh boy. Spencer used internal politics to have Marcus demoted, absorbing T-Virus research into the facility under his own control. From then on, Umbrella began to actively research and develop bioweapons under Spencer's leadership. The underground facility known as ARC, which was discovered during recent events, originally served as the administrative center of Umbrella's research. Several documents outlining Spencer's plan for ARC have also been discovered.
Excerpt from Confiscated Records, Long-Term Strategic Review 1980_0422. ARC-centric Integrated Research Roadmap. Step 1. Concentrated investment into the Wesker Project and the T-Virus. Step 2. Establishment of ARC as a central command center. Step 3. Development of ELPIS. Step 4. Memory transfer and forced evolution.
Whoa. Okay. So, we now... Again, people, if you haven't read played the game and are gonna get mad about us saying spoilers, sorry, but we gave you a heads up. But okay, so we got the cure, but step 4 was memory transfer and force evolution, which was, I guess the clones. So we're getting more into clones territory. At least I'm assuming that's what this is probably alluding to with Xeno. Maybe. Who knows?
Also, going back to what you said really quickly. Also, if you're getting pissed about us doing this, the game came out nearly 2 months ago. You got no excuse.
Yeah, I mean, again, we gave a heads up.
Even if you couldn't play it, you had to have seen a playthrough of it by now.
Especially you're actively selecting this to watch, I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
the name says enough. Okay, I guess I say this part. This is the first recorded instance of a significant keyword, opus.
The connection's involvement. Okay, I get another sentence. The following documents regarding Marcus's involvement were also discovered.
Excerpt from confiscated records. Receipt of donation 1986 underscore 0138. Recipient James
I
Marcus.
see.
Sender F Foundation. Amount $30 million. Wait, Marcus? Our Marcus? From RPD? No. I'm
That's
writing
James
some...
Marcus from RE0.
Oh, right, sorry. My
He was the
bad.
leech dude.
Gaia, that guy. It's been a
What
while.
makes it even funnier is Zero's one of your favorites.
Hey. I mean, all I know that he was a crazy leech guy. I had to kick his ass.
That's fair. Also, it took me like 2 times seeing it to figure out that's a date code.
At least for 1986, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna backtrack for just a second to make sure. Yeah, because that was 1980, so 4/22 would be April 22nd.
Yeah.
So this would have been January 30th. No, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't try to think about the other numbers because I think they're sort of like...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
This document shows a suspicious flow of funds being channeled to Marcus. Past FBI investigations revealed that the source of the funds, the F Foundation, which is one of the puppet organizations of the Connections. The F Foundation no longer exists. Oh, so the Connections were a thing as far back as 1986.
Apparently. And apparently they have fake puppet organizations. What? Okay, then.
Oh,
Okay.
hi, Evelyn.
All right. Yeah, okay, cool. The Connections is a criminal organization that various government agencies have been sounding the alarm against for years. This illicit group is at the heart of all of this. Evidence suggests that the Connections sought involvement with Umbrella's central operations. Additional documents belonging to the prodigy of Marcus Brandon Bailey has been uncovered.
Did we ever hear about a Brandon Bailey? Because the name does sound familiar.
It sounds familiar. I'm just trying to think like when he might have came up.
Also, if you want to look at that dude's head, it is so badly upscaled.
What do you mean? Oh, geez. The one on the all the way to the right?
Yeah, right next to Mia.
I think it's just the folding of the thing.
Yeah, but I'm blaming upscale.
Okay.
Excerpt from confiscated records. Telegraph log 1988-0996. Sender Brandon Bailey. Recipient F Foundation. Preparations are complete. I think it's time they made contact with me directly, don't you? I await a response.
This indicates that Bailey took over correspondence with the Connections, succeeding Marcus. Bailey was rumored to be the founder of the Connections, but he may have only been a small cog in the larger machine. We now believe the Connections have had deep roots in the criminal underworld since before the 1980s. Much about the Connections remains unknown. As usual, we're still learning about them bits by bits with each entry, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's to keep them mysterious, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, as you said, bit by bit, for the first, you know that thing where your brain finishes a sentence for you before it finishes?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, we've been learning more about them bitches as time goes on.
Yeah, we'll learn about this bitch. We're learning about this Brandon Bailey guy. I'm like, oh, okay, apparently he's the founder of Connections now. We would never learn that unless we were actively going through these files.
Yeah, no kidding. Spencer's purge. In order for Spencer to obtain complete control over Umbrella, he used force to deal with any internal opposition and influential adversaries. A list of these individuals, seemingly prepared by an associate of Spencer's, was recently discovered.
Excerpt from confiscated records. Reevaluation list. Following the CEO's reevaluation protocol, measures will be taken against these individuals. Cheryl Moore, Michael Kramer, James Marcus, and there's a name that's omitted.
I want again. Michael Kramer sounds like a familiar name. I feel like I've heard that one before.
Same here.
1990s. During this period, Umbrella continued to grow and expand through ties with the government. The organization became so large that Spencer could no longer fully control it. Numerous accidents plagued Umbrella facilities around the world as a result of poor management. Furthermore, information was being leaked to rival organizations and the connections due to moles who had infiltrated the company.
And just for everyone to know, like maybe haven't played the previous games, but this is your way of wanting to learn about the games without playing the actual older games, which I don't know why you would do that, but okay. It's
Kind of
true.
judging a little bit if that's the case.
Yeah, but I'll be understanding. But yeah, Umbrella was terrible with moles, leaks, double agents, so much so.
Oh God.
Yeah, like that's I know it's a meme, but at the same time, it makes sense like why there's so many screw ups where BOWs will break out and such because there's people actively trying to collect information to sell it for other companies. And plus, again, when mentioning RE0, yeah, one of the leaders is trying to go up against Spencer or Wesker because they were like, all right, you know what, I'd rather do things my way. So there was like a lot of not warring factions, but I guess a lot of headbutting between people in the same company. So yeah, it was
absolutely
crazy to read through those notes. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much you throw a rock in any direction, there was a mole, is basically the long and short of it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yet, despite the circumstances, Spencer was able to thoroughly protect and complete his research at ARC. The research? Opus. While most records regarding Opus were lost with the destruction of ARC, a precious few remain.
Excerpt from confiscated records. Spencer's message, 1909, data missing. Tricell. Oh,
Oh, there's
HCF.
Trisol.
The family and Umbrella. I don't know why I said the family like that. Alpha shall bring it all to an end. Data corrupted.
Dude, that Sean Connery spirit almost took over.
Which one? Which part?
Opus shall bring it to an end.
Alpha shall bring it all to an end.
All right. The only information leaked about Elpis was that it had the potential to upset the military balance of the entire world. However, a strictly managed password known only to Spencer was needed to access it. Is that the game making... Was that the game just making like a little nudge at itself? Like, a little obvious loophole right there or a plot point right there? Like, strictly managed password. Only the Spencer was needed to access it. All right.
Yeah. What is Elpis? Elpis is a powerful antiviral drug. However, this was unknown to those who sought it. The connections and other black market groups mistakenly thought it to be a powerful bioweapon with the potential to control human minds.
This confusion likely stemmed from the fierce competition surrounding bioweapon development. It was common knowledge that Spencer, the developer of Elpis, aimed for the evolution and control of humanity through viral technology.
Oh yeah, shit. Completion of Elpis. Sorry, zoned out for a second. Based on data taken from the confiscated records and changes in Spencer's behavior, we believe Elpis was completed around the mid-1990s. After this period, the records show a marked decrease in the number of public statements from Spencer. A similar decrease in activity was also observed at the Raccoon City orphanage. Disturbingly, it is suspected that the children at the orphanage had long been used for Umbrella experimentation.
While Spencer frequently visited the orphanage, records indicate he stopped in the 1990s. Furthermore, the orphanage was under the research jurisdiction of William Birkin in the late 90s. Birkin turned against Spencer, ultimately leading to the leak of the T-virus. As we said, there's a lot of betrayal and such in this company. It's that miracle they even build that many laboratories underground.
Look, I just want to know where they got the money. That's it. 1998,
That's a
the
lot.
Raccoon City incident. The T virus leaked from the Umbrella Research Facility in Raccoon City, causing an unprecedented outbreak. In response, the government decided to launch a missile strike on the city under the pretense of containing the spread. However, this is where we have been misled. The missile strike was not launched to prevent the spread of infection.
A plan was formed to disrupt the relationship between the government and Umbrella and shift the blame for all illegal activities onto Spencer. Found records indicate that the connections lobbied for the missile strike.
Excerpts from confiscated records. Access log. First assembly minutes. ARC has been secured. Commence the missile strike. The blame will fall solely on Spencer. With this, Umbrella will be dismantled and will seize their assets.
Their goal was the acquisition of Umbrella assets, particularly the thing they believed would disrupt the world's military balance, Elpis. Due to Bailey's involvement, the connections were aware of Umbrella's inner workings prior to the Raccoon City incident. This set them up to swiftly secure ARC before instructing the government to carry out the missile strike. Also, just to let you know, I did try to look those names up, Michael Kramer and Cheryl Moore. But yeah, it seems like they're not names that are really that known, so they might be... Capcom might actually be doing the thing where they drop some names here and there as if, oh yeah, you'll be learning about these characters more and more, or these are potential characters who might meet along the way in future installments. So who knows? I mean, don't take it as my, this is my theory and such, but there's just it does a heads up. This might be what's going on with Capcom now, with what they want,
Right.
the new direction they want to do with the connections.
You got it. After the Raccoon City incident, the Umbrella trials. As is well known, trials were held after the events of the Raccoon City incident. Testimony from Raccoon City survivors, along with evidence submitted by the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium, demonstrated the scope of Umbrella's nefarious activities.
Evidence against Spencer was presented at the trials by his subordinate, Albert Wesker. It is now evident that Wesker was linked to Tricell, which in turn had strong ties to the connections. Therefore, it is highly likely there was pressure from the government and the connections during the trials.
Okay, now hold on. I've got some points to make.
Okay.
So this whole time, at least for the original timeline, it was implied that Wesker basically disappeared and did shit completely in the shadows.
Yes.
So now you're expecting me to believe that he was that he just pulled a fucking... like a Houdini. He was like, that's okay, I'm here, I'm ready to spill the beans on this bastard. Don't, and then, what if Chris was in the fucking trial, you know?
What do you mean?
Imagine if Chris was in that trial, and then he sees Wesker. Because it says, it was presented by Wesker.
Yeah. That's so weird. Okay, yeah, because I'm a bit confused. Is it test trials or is it actual judge jury trials?
I think it's supposed to imply the public trials against Umbrella, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Or because in this situation, the government wouldn't hold a trial.
Because they know, since some people did know, what was going on, but...
Yeah. So we can only assume this is an an actual courthouse trial. So yeah, Wesker, I guess, was perfectly content to make his revival known?
I guess so. I guess that's the new thing, which would make...
my whole thing is I can't imagine that the surviving STARS members would have left out the fact that Wesker died.
Definitely not, no.
So in any database of, whatever, Wesker would be listed as deceased.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing with this, is... because if they left that out, then they failed as cops, because at the end of the day, that's what STARS were. They were special cops.
Yeah.
Because if you leave out an important detail of an investigation, you're falsifying information.
Oh, this is weird. This is a weird retcon.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just went on a really big tangent there for a second. Jesus.
We're trying to make sense of this. That's why we're that's why we're reading this, to hopefully see like how they clean up the timeline, or at least try to explain how this timeline works now. All right, is it my turn?
Uh,
Oh wait, no, yeah, it's your
fuck.
turn.
Okay. In 2004, following the outcome of the trials, Umbrella was forced into bankruptcy.
Oh, okay,
Just as the
okay.
just as the connections in the government intended, Oswell E. Spencer was held accountable as CEO and he disappeared from the public eye.
Yep, it's judge jury trials then. Oh wow, then that's so weird that they have Wesker be there. What the okay.
Because one last thing about it before we continue, because my
Mhm.
thing is they wouldn't just let a random person into the trial without wanting to know their name.
True.
And a trial, especially if you don't know who he is, wouldn't accept. Oh, you don't have to know my name.
No, like that it does not work that way. No.
Like either you tell me your name or you get out.
Yeah, because I don't think being anonymous could work out in trials. At least I don't think so. I'm not an expert in lawyer stuff, but even then, I don't think Capcom would be
Yeah.
that. I don't know. It gets a bit more confusing. All right, acquisition of ARC. The connections in the government seized ARC during the Raccoon City incident. Thereafter, ARC served as a base for the research, development, and distribution of bioweapons.
Very nice. Documents believed to be transaction lists have also been seized. These lists Umbrella's competitors, along with organizations that were previously found guilty of illegal activity. Unfortunately, most evidence was lost with the collapse of ARC. Recovery efforts continue, but success is unlikely.
Proliferation of bioterrorism. God damn, Grace. What the fuck does that even mean?
What the fuck?
Hold on, hold on. Just so I could help everyone right now and not have everyone like typing in like what does that mean if you're listening to this strictly by audio. Proliferation is the rapid increase in number, growth, or spread of cells, organisms, or entities through reproduction or division. So I guess the growth of bioterrorism. You could have just said that. The growth of bioterrorism. All right. Anyways, gosh, Grace, acting like this is a dang. All right. Following the Raccoon City incident, weaponized viruses developed by Umbrella were leaked. Subsequently, instances of bioterrorism utilizing this technology spread around the globe.
In 2013, oh,
Oh,
President
there you
Adam
go.
Benford was assassinated in a bioterrorist attack. Intelligence agencies report that the president wished to reveal the full truth of the Raccoon City incident. It is possible that President Benford was privy to the facts revealed in this report.
Oh, definitely.
Six
Spencer.
reference, it's still canon.
Yep. As it should be, even if it's goofy. All right. Spencer's final years. Remaining records about Spencer after the dissolution of Umbrella are scarce, but a new source of information has recently come to light. An interview conducted by Alyssa Ashcroft. Despite being responsible for countless atrocities, Spencer showed some signs of remorse in this interview.
Having lost everything, he sought atonement. While Elpis is a powerful instrument that can render viral weapons inert, it also has the potential as a panacea to be used for good. It is possible that Spencer's true motivation behind Elpis were peace and redemption.
And for those who don't know, panacea means a solution or a remedy for all difficulties or diseases.
Fucking shit, Grace. Goddamn fucking reporter, piece of shit.
All right. While he remained obsessed with the evolution of humanity throughout his later years, most testimonies describe him as nothing but a senile old man. Spencer died in 2006 at his secluded estate. His true intentions behind developing Elpis will forever remain unknown.
That's true, because
How?
Wesker killed him.
Yep, he did not just simply die. He was murdered.
Conclusion. As we can see from the records, the Umbrella Corporation's liquidation was intentionally orchestrated by the connections and the U.S. government. Furthermore, they were involved in the illegal development and trafficking of bioweapons in Raccoon City. The extent to which past and present governments were involved requires further investigation.
Also, who took that damn shot? Like, all I remember was Leon taking that shot, but I don't think there's anyone else there with him. Okay.
It's very obvious in between cutscenes Leon pulled out a camera.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Silly me. All right. Much about the connections remain shrouded in mystery, and most records of their involvement were destroyed alongside Ark. What?
Countless lives have been lost. As government officials, we have a duty to pursue the truth. If anything, finding it will finally offer some closure to everyone who fell victim to these heinous actions. FBI intelligence analyst Grace Ashcroft.
We did it.
Yay! That actually didn't take that long.
Yeah, I realize the 60 pages thing is very misleading when you have like one paragraph type of pages to go
Like,
through.
no shit, because I thought it was going to be like 60 or so pages of like, oh, let's backtrack to like page 58, like a couple paragraphs.
But no, my boy, we only did 30 minutes of reading.
You know what that means.
It means that Capcom really didn't want to make any retcons decisions here.
Yay!
Well, that is it, folks. I mean, we read through the Grace's report. I don't think there's really anything
honestly,
else.
I thought it was gonna go over each game's like story.
I'm a little disappointed. Yeah, I thought because okay, folks, if you don't know, there's this thing called Wesker's report, which we thought like, oh, that's cute. Like now it's Grace's report. But Wesker's report was sort of like a summary of what happened in between some games. And it's kind of cool to like hear Wesker narrate what goes on between some entries and some story points. Try to establish like a bit of lore, you know? So that's why I was like, you know what? We should make this an episode. Read Grace's report and see what it does to establish the timeline and such. But it seems like, yeah, you play through the games, you're sort of like, oh, okay, been there, done that. But I don't know. How do you feel about this? Like, because I know for the trials thing with Wesker, that's a whole new thing right there. So I'm wondering how Code Veronica 5 and such are going to be handling all of that now, if they plan to remake those games.
Like that, like there was some parts where I was like, oh, okay, that whatever. But then the fucking trial thing, like you said, that completely threw me for a loop.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, like we have Wesker, the main bad, one of the most iconic villains of the series, is now no longer shrouded in mystery of hiding. Like, even though they said that, but like, he showed up in a trial, which means that negates his death and the first game. So, what do you mean now?
Hold on. There's only one way I will accept this.
What's up?
Is if we get a flashback to it, and Wesker says reports of my death were greatly exaggerated.
Oh boy. I don't know, but and then we got some character names getting dropped.
Yeah, I'm being jokey about it, but some of that honestly kind of bothered me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like you said, I was kind of getting this idea that it was going to not only give a brief rundown of each game, but also fill in some gaps on questions we might have had throughout those games.
Right.
But it didn't. It didn't.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this is probably like one of the most bare bone kind of lore reports I've seen for the series. And even then, like I know other games don't really do this kind of thing, but if Capcom has already done it in the past, I was hoping that it would, freaking set their foot down and actually establish some things, especially since like they showed remastered. When they had like flashback scenes in Requiem, they strictly show scenes from the remastered games, not from like the original games, or recreate OG game scenes just with modern graphics. It was like, no, it's just strictly from the remastered game. So I don't know.
All of Leon's flashbacks are from Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Yeah. So you would think like, okay, like now they're establishing this timeline as like this is the main thing. Okay, fine. What else do you have established here? But the way they have some things vague, I'm just thinking, great. So I think they're trying to leave the remakes be the ones to fill in the new lore or the new established lore, which this is what I was complaining about with Zoomer a while back. That okay, like you want to ignore some things from the previous lore timeline, fine. But I feel like you should have like complete this original timeline first before
Yeah, I
trying to
agree.
mash together the original timeline and the new timeline, because now you're making things messy. And like this is reading this report has cemented how I feel about this type of lore meshing.
Like, because basically, let me just make sure I'm understanding you correctly, because I think I am, but let me just do it. What you're saying is they should have finished remaking the rest of the games to establish a complete timeline before doing something like this.
Yes, like at least you're gonna be making that the remasters, the new timeline to be focusing on. Then at least remake all the games all the way through instead of making this. Uh, how do I say this? Like, I guess I just wish the original timeline was kind of like respected a bit more, so that way nine. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the way that did this makes it so sound so confusing and frustrating at the same time.
I will say the one of the very few callbacks to the classic games I did enjoy in 9 was, of course, the Super Tyrant.
Oh yeah, for sure, of
Like,
course.
that was cool. That was nice. Because it was still a new version of the Super Tyrant. It didn't look exactly like the original, but you look at it and you immediately go, oh, that's the PlayStation Super Tyrant.
Right.
And, like, they were really good about that with Breaking in 2, because, like, you instantly recognized each one as what it was from the original. It's like, uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is there wasn't enough of that in 9 for it to like meld with both the remakes and the fans of the remakes and the fans of the originals. Does
Yeah.
that make
I
sense?
Yeah, I think the remake people are a bit more forgiving since they're like gonna be all new to this shit. So
Yeah.
they don't remember all the history that well, especially when, oh, I'm not gonna feel bad about the clock towers level being taken out of 3. Like, what's that all about? Shit like that. But like for people like, cause I could be on both sides. I could be like, all right, cool. I love the original timeline. I'm all about that shit because I played through those games and I love it. But I can also
Yeah,
be like,
exactly.
I can respect like the remakes timeline because I'm like, all right, cool. This is the new timeline. I guess this is how they want to do things, as long as it makes sense. Okay. But then sometimes it just doesn't make sense. You know, like, oh yeah, the connections they existed forever. I'm like, okay, well, great. But why doesn't it feel like you all cannot do this cleanly? You know?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a this franchise has been going on for like a long time, so yeah, you can expect plenty of lore hiccups, but this it gets weirdly messy when you have two technical timelines going on. And I'm saying this as someone who tried to keep up with the freaking Kingdom Hearts timeline, and we know how freaking messy that one could get.
Here's the thing, right? My thing is I'm okay with the two different timelines. What I'm not okay with is them trying to say, "Oh yeah, well they're both still canon."
Yeah, exactly. Because then, like, what the fuck do you mean? Because you
Because
can't
like
say
every game since Resident Evil 2 Remake has followed flashbacks from Resident Evil 2 Remake.
right. Because but then now you're saying that Wesker died, yes, but then he also showed up for the trials. But Chris doesn't know that he's still alive. I was like, huh? Like that shit does not make sense now. Like how can he be at
Mm-mm.
the trials, or like he was leading the trials, yet Chris doesn't know that he's alive until Code
5.
Veronica.
Oh yeah, Code Veronica, my bad.
No worries.
I completely forgot they interacted in that game.
Yeah, it was a cool fine cutscene. I won't lie, especially for his time. Oh man. So I don't know if if you were to, um, it's gonna
Mhm.
be funny because it's not like it's a grading school thing, but if you were to rate this report as a way of filling in lore or summarize things for the cleanup of the timeline, and quotes cleanup that Capcom tried to establish with Grace's report, what would you rate this with?
Do you want me to rate it with a movie quote or a funny one-liner?
Either is fine.
I'm gonna do both then. I think I'm gonna have to go with J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson here and go, crap, 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 mega crap. That one's all right. Crap, crap, crap. Now, like
I don't know, rating out of 5, I guess.
rating out of 5. Are we allowed halves?
Yeah, of course.
Like 2.5. It was okay, but like it was okay at the beginning, but then once we got to towards the middle, it started like going downhill.
I would have to agree. Please do not take this as me like being harsh on the remakes or such, because this is a modern game and it makes perfect sense for this to be like OG timeline and I guess remake time. No, not really remake timeline, because it's not even like caught up properly. So I can't even say
Yeah.
that. But I'll just say this: it feels like a 2.5 out of 5 for me because
Hmm.
yeah, it touches on some things here and there. Like, oh, okay, so I guess their retcon is that Spencer has always felt this way. Like, like right, perfect right here is like common knowledge that Spencer, the developer at Opus, aimed for the evolution and control of humanity through biotechnology. Just because, like, how he felt from seeing the Cold War and World War II. Like, okay, that's new
Okay,
info
hold
for me
on.
right there. Go on.
Um, you brought this up as well. We discussed this, I think, during 6. I want to say we talked about this during 6, maybe,
Hmm.
or during the podcast for 9. But as of right now, there's no remake of 5. So the only evidence we know of Spencer from that time is I was supposed to be a god.
Exactly. Yes. So if this fits in the original timeline, it's a weird character rewrite.
Another thing, I'm worried about the direction they're going in, and you like Star Wars, so I'm sure you'll understand what I'm referencing when I say this. Because they can back themselves into a corner because if they say the wrong thing and establish something as canon, they'll have to stick to it in the next remake that follows that time period. Because I don't know if you know this, but in episode 3 of Star Wars, Anakin makes a comment about General Grievous saying, I figured you'd be taller or something like that.
Yeah.
And because of that comment implying that he'd never seen Grievous face to face, throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars show, they had to write in a way for Anakin to not be present when Grievous was, just to make that line still work.
Good lord.
So they could really shoot themselves into a corner here, the same exact way, if they're not careful with this establishment of canon before making a remake of a previous game.
Yeah. It's just messy, messy, messy. Like, it's just the irony for a cleanup report. Like, all right, there's the cleanup version of the timeline. Like this, we're trying to explain to you guys, like, this is how things are now. But at the same time, like, all right, cool. Like, okay, so that's what they're trying to say to us, the fans that are still around currently for Resident Evil, that we rewritten Spencer's whole character thing. Yes, he wanted to be a god, but um he felt bad
Remorseful.
about the kids and all that. But then he also went off on his final words saying he was supposed to be a god before Wesker killed him. So I was like, all right, cool. But then we also got some new names. I can appreciate like they're trying to establish some new names. So I'm hoping something could actually lead up to that. Like those two new names that we're gonna possibly learn in the future, or they're just dropping names here and there just to make it seem a bit more of a bigger corporation thing.
I'm hoping it's the former because a big problem we both had was that Victor Gideon was made to be this big villain that they've been tracking for years, but this is the first time we've heard of this motherfucker.
Yes. So this report at least is a good start for like trying to make you look forward to future characters that I hope actually play a role in either the connections or trying to fight against connections or betraying the connections. Because again, we already seen how it went for Umbrella.
Yeah, that was fun for everyone involved. Lost a whole city out of it, but you know.
All right. Any closing thoughts before we go?
Um, 0 out of 10. There were no Redfields or Valentines mentioned.
My God, we really are gonna have to use they're really gonna try to make the remakes be the ones to establish what's going on instead of saying it right here now in the report. That is so weird. Oh well.
We'll deal with it as it goes. I'm hoping that the alleged DLC will be pretty good, though.
I hope so too. I hope it doesn't cause more frustration, which would be pretty damn impressive. Everyone, I hope you all enjoyed us reading the Grace's report to you. If you guys didn't feel like you want to read 6 pages, I mean, you missed out on some funny one-liners of just one paragraph each page sort of deals, but it's okay.
I've got a sentence.
All right, what's that?
Like I was saying, I was like, oh, okay, I've got one sentence.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if you don't want to listen to us read the report, then you guys really could just read it by yourselves. But hey, you know what? I mean, if there's like a weird audiobook for you, cool. But
listen, I could never do an audiobook because I would be too tempted to do the fucking Goblet of Fire thing. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Dumbledore said calmly.
Nah, I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, good. We're glad to be able to read this to y'all, like so that way you could. Well, no, I have to read all the big sentences, but you should really read though. I mean, reading is essential for living. But anyways, I hope our analysis and our feelings of the report could give you an idea, like how some longtime fans are currently feeling about this whole timeline thing with Resident Evil, and who knows? I mean, feel free to check out Wesker's reports because those videos should be floating around on YouTube as well. So, yeah, look out for those. And with that being said, yeah, thank you for watching or listening. You're listening to this in the audio version only. If you're experiencing this video episode on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe for more future podcast episodes. And of course, be safe out there and treat yourself well and have a great rest of your day and watch out for bioweapons. Bye bye, y'all.
Bye.